Hello there my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your friend and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today, we're talking about Maul Shadow Lord. We're just 40 days away from the series, which takes place a year after the Clone Wars Season 7, and next week we have a tie-in comic. But today, in this video, we have some huge information courtesy of Sam Witwer, the voice of Maul, and someone who was a creative influence on the show. In the penultimate issue of Star Wars Insider, he really spills the beans, gives us some huge information about Maul's motivations, his view on the Jedi. He even mentions Savage Opress, who is dead but might appear in flashbacks, and the most important tidbit, Dave Filoni's advice for Sam and his influence. So a lot to break down, guys, and if you've not done so already, please be sure to hit the big subscribe button down below. We are so close to 150,000 subscribers, we would be honoured if you would join us. But no more jibber jabber, let's dive in. So I want to begin by saying this. It's no secret that 2026 is such a vital year for Star Wars, not just because it's the first movie in 7 years, but because it's the first time we have a new president. Kathleen Kennedy is gone, and in her place, Dave Filoni and Lin Brennan. Now, while all of the projects this year still have Kathy's influence, they all just so happen to be part of Dave Filoni's wider vision for the franchise. The Mandalorian and Grogu might have been directed by Jon Favreau, but the co-creator of the entire Mandoverse initiative and a producer on the movie was Dave. Then later in the year is literally Dave's baby, with the second season of Ahsoka. And Maul Shadow Lord, that's directly in the vein of the Clone Wars. So aside from the Vision spin-off, it's pretty much all Filoni in 2026. And now, based on what Sam Witwer tells us, Dave appears very aware of the fact that Lucasfilm needs a win. In a few months' time, I'm sure we're going to have a lot to say about the Mando movie, and then the press tour for Ahsoka Season 2 at some point. But with Maul Shadow Lord, Dave knows how important the reputation of this character is. Synonymous with Star Wars in the 90s with The Phantom Menace, a huge fan favourite ever since, all throughout the 2000s, in the Clone Wars series of course, in Rebels, in Solo, and so this is a character they don't want to mess up. And so in a desperate attempt to ensure the character's legacy and story was not tarnished, Witwer says that Filoni gave the creative team and the animation team one key mandate, and it's this: do everything better. Acting, scripts, story, cinematography, and sound. He told us to push everything further. We all wanted this to be the best thing we've ever done, and I really hope it is. The first trailer was super impressive, pushed boundaries in terms of blending animation styles, was super emotional, dynamic, and it looks like it's going to be a dark, meaningful, gritty show. But it's no secret that animated shows get far less viewership, on average, than live-action projects. But it's good to see that's not stopping Dave, because when you're dealing with a character like Maul, and you market this to be a crucial period of his life, you need to respect the character's story, and you need to win over the fans who do tune in. Yes, it's animation, but if you're going to be making a show about one of the most iconic darkseid users in the entire franchise, there needs to be a purpose to it. You can't just be making a pointless show to milk his name, to milk Darth Maul's popularity. You need to have a story to tell, and you have to do it impressively. And I do have hope that this show is going to blow us away. And I'm also hoping, and this is a far greater concern for fans, they're not going to ruin the character. There has been discourse, some reactions to these comments, that say that they're going to make Maul less of a bad guy. Previously when we covered this, Sam simply said that Maul is a bad guy amongst worse guys, Vader and Palpatine. But now he says this. He, talking about Maul, is very angry at Palpatine. He understands now that that guy is the root of his suffering. I also wonder if this means we might see some flashbacks to his Sith training, maybe to his childhood, and then he says he sees it even clearer. Everywhere he looks, he sees Palpatine's hand. If Maul's gonna shake his fist at him, he has to believe he's somehow superior to Palpatine, even though he's not. And then, addressing the claims that Maul is gonna be soft in this show, Witwer says, quote, "He's still the same ruthless, dangerous figure. If you cross him, you're done." But his plan is ambitious, and he says one of the few people he trusts is Rook Kast, his first lieutenant, and their relationship is interesting because Maul actually listens to her, and he's learning that sometimes you have to be told the truth. And so now, we come on to Sam Witwer's most surprising comment, how Maul is beginning to change his mind about the Jedi. While once he perceived the Order as his sworn enemy, now that he is no longer a Sith and has his own aspirations to overthrow Palpatine, Witwer says Maul is looking round and going, "Boy, we could sure use a Jedi Knight or two. At least with the Jedi, you knew where you stood. There's something to respect there. This Empire, though, he sees no value in. Just a naked grab for influence and power. Principles are gone, and he looks at that with a certain level of distaste. He may not have agreed with the Jedi Knights, but at least they had principles. You knew the kind of people you were dealing with, and you could reason with that. But there is no reasoning with the Empire, and there is no reasoning with Sidious." So Maul's outlook in this show is certainly different, but it doesn't make him a good guy, because he himself is going to seek his own power and his own influence, trying to combat his former master. And the reason he has this strange affinity for the Jedi, all of a sudden, isn't because of some wistful nostalgia, but more because he could use them against Palpatine. And I think that's the reason he recruits Devon, who survived Order 66. He's going to mold her for his own personal aspirations, not because he suddenly agrees with the Jedi. Now, returning to the whole subject of enhancing or ruining the character, I have a lot of faith in Lucasfilm Animation. They've consistently been amazing with The Clone Wars, Rebels, The Bad Batch, and this show is in good hands with Dave Filoni, Matt Miknevets, Brad Rao, as I said, Sam Witwer. But there is one person I wish they had consulted with, Katie Lucas, the daughter of George Lucas. She was a writer on some of the most quintessential Maul episodes from the Clone Wars series. She also participated in Dark Disciple, and she has a great grasp of who this character is, his fury, his need for revenge, and just what's going on inside his head. So if I was in charge of bringing anyone onto this project, it would have been Katie. One final huge reveal from Sam though, they shot some live action footage for the action scenes. Sam Witwer in live action as Maul, so the animators could perfect his movements, his eyes, his expressions, and his lightsaber combat. That is so darn exciting. And finally guys, he mentioned Savage Opress. Some people who've reacted to this on social media took it out of context. He mentions the influence of Savage, but it doesn't mean Savage is still alive. He died at the hands of Palpatine on Mandalore, and I think if he is going to come into this show, which is what it sounds like, it's just going to be in Maul's visions and dreams, not in the flesh. He says, quote, "You don't dare to bring this character back unless there is something interesting to say." And I would say that's true of everything in this show. So fingers crossed, it's going to be a banger. I think there's a chance this could be Lucasfilm's greatest win of the year, if they play their cards right, and I'm very excited for it. But I also understand the apprehension, I understand the worry. Let's wait and see. Hopefully it's great. What do you guys think though? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, my friends. And if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and may the Force be with you always.